1992, Rosa Martinez Music cleaned houses in Medellin to support her 3 children. Music. She was a domestic worker, illiterate, earned little, and worked a lot. One day, a cleaning agency offered her Music a new job. It was a large house in an upscale neighborhood with a salary twice the normal rate. There was only one rule: absolute discretion. What you see stays there. Rosa accepted. She needed the money. She did not know the house belonged to Pablo Escobar. During Music's 6 months, Rosa cleaned that house 3 times a week. She saw men coming, Music, and going, heard strange conversations, saw suitcases full of money and weapons. But Rosa did not understand Music, the context. To her, they were just important men having meetings. Every Sunday, Rosa visited her sister Patricia. They drank coffee and talked about their music sisters. Without malice, Rosa told her about the strange things she saw. There are so many phones. The man speaks in code, mentions strange names. Patricia, Music, listened. Until one day, Rosa mentioned a specific name. Today I heard Music the master speaking with someone called Pablo. Patricia froze. She worked at a police station and knew exactly who Pablo was. Pablo Escobar's main hitman. At that moment, Patricia realized something terrible. Her sister was cleaning Pablo Escobar's house, and without knowing it, Rosa had memorized Music routines, numbers, names, and schedules. For 6 months, Rosa became the most effective spy against Music Pablo Escobar without knowing she was one. If you stay until the end, you will discover how Rosa, an illiterate woman who only wanted to feed her children, provided information that led to multiple Music operations against Pablo, how her innocence made her the perfect observer, why Pablo Music never suspected her, and what happened when she finally discovered the truth. This is the story of the domestic worker Music who destroyed Pablo Escobar without knowing it. To understand this story, you need to know who Rosa Martinez was. Rosa was born in 1954 in Pueblo Pequeño, Music near Medellin. She came from a peasant family, very poor. Rosa never attended school. Music. Her family had no money for it, and at that time in poor Music villages, girls did not go to school anyway. They were expected to help at home, work, and marry young. Rosa married at 17 to a man from the village. They had 3 Music children. When Rosa was 24, her husband, Music, left her, went off with another woman and left them with nothing. Rosa had to support Music, her 3 children, alone, without education or special skills. Music. The only things she knew how to do were clean, cook, and work with her hands, so she became a domestic worker. She moved to Medellin in 1980 with her 3 children, looking for work and opportunities. For 12 years, Rosa cleaned houses, different Music houses, different families, and different neighborhoods. She earned little, just enough to pay rent for a small room, Music, where the 4 of them lived, and barely enough for basic food. Her children attended public school. Rosa wanted them to have the education she never had. She worked Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 when she needed extra money. She cleaned 3 Music or 4 houses a day, 2 hours in each one. She earned little per Music house, but it added up in the end. Rosa could not read or write, but she had something special, something she did not even recognize as a talent, a photographic memory. Rosa could remember everything she saw and heard in perfect detail. If she saw a phone number, Music, she memorized it instantly. If she heard a conversation, she remembered it, Music, word for word. If she saw an object out of place, she noticed it. This ability made her an excellent domestic worker. She remembered exactly how each family wanted things, where each object went, and which products to use for each surface, but it also meant something else, something Rosa did not yet understand, Music. It meant she was a perfect observer, an ideal witness, with a perfect memory, qualities of a perfect spy. But Rosa was not a spy. She was just Music, a working woman trying to survive until February 1992, when her life changed completely. In February 1992, Rosa worked for a cleaning agency called Servicios del Hogar. The agency connected domestic workers with families needing help. Rosa had worked with them for 5 years. They were reliable, paid on time, and offered her steady jobs. One Tuesday afternoon, Rosa received a call from the agency. It was Mrs. Mercedes, the owner. "Rosa, I have a new job for you. It's a large house in El Poblado. They need a housekeeper 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Rosa quickly calculated. 6 hours, 3 times a week, 18 music hours weekly in a single house. How much do they pay? Double the normal rate. Rosa almost dropped the phone. Music. Double? That's incredible. Why do they pay so much? Mrs. Mercedes hesitated. It's a special house. They require absolute discretion. What you see there, what you music here, you never speak of it outside to anyone. Do you understand? Rosa had worked in rich houses before. She knew wealthy people valued privacy. Music. I understand. I am discreet. I never talk about what I see in my jobs. Good, but this music is more serious. You must sign a document, a confidentiality agreement. Rosa did not know what that was, but it sounded important. I can't read. I can't sign papers I don't understand. It's okay. Music. I'll explain everything. Basically, it says, you will never talk about the family, music, the house, or what you see. If you do, there could be serious legal problems. Rosa processed this. Legal problems sounded terrifying, but double pay meant she could work fewer total hours and spend more time with her children. All right, I accept. Perfect. You start Monday. I'll send you the address. Mrs. Mercedes gave her the address. Rosa memorized it, music, instantly. The El Poblado neighborhood, an elegant area of Medellin with large houses and wealthy music families. Rosa had cleaned there before, in beautiful houses, but some families treated her badly, speaking to her as if she were invisible. But the double pay was worth it. Monday arrived. Rosa woke up early, wore her best work clothes, clean and simple. She took the bus to El Poblado, arrived at the address, a large house, but not a mansion, 2 floors, music, with a front garden, a high gate, and an electric gate. Rosa rang the bell and waited. Music. A large man opened the gate, looked her up and down. Are you Rosa? The new housekeeper? Yes, sir. Identification. Rosa gave him her ID. The man checked it and made a radio call. The housekeeper has arrived. After a minute, the man nodded. You may enter. Rosa went in. Music. The man closed the gate behind her. They walked toward the house. Rosa, music, noticed another man in the garden, standing and watching. There is a lot of security here, Rosa thought. They must be afraid of theft. They entered the house. It was nice, well decorated, not excessively luxurious, but comfortable. A woman greeted her. Hello, Rosa. I'm Marta. I manage the house. I'll show you everything. Music. Marta showed her the house, a large living room, a dining room, a spacious kitchen, an office, 4 bedrooms upstairs, and 3 music bathrooms. Your responsibilities are to clean everything except the office. That room is only cleaned by the owner. Rosa nodded. Understood. Music. And another very important rule. If there are meetings, if there are music people talking, you keep cleaning as if you hear nothing. Music, do not look, do not ask, just do your work. Of course, very clear. Good. The owner of the house is a busy man. He receives visitors, takes calls. None of that concerns you. Music, you just do your job and leave. Rosa understood. Rich people, music, valued privacy. They did not want housekeepers gossiping. No problem, music. I only come to work. Marta smiled. That's why we chose you. Music, Mrs. Mercedes said you are reliable and discreet. Rosa began working. She started in the living room, cleaning, dusting, and vacuuming. While working, she heard voices. She looked discreetly. 3 men were sitting in the dining room talking. One of them was older than the others, with a thick mustache, round face, and a friendly smile. Music. That was him, the owner of the house. Although Rosa did not know it, Music, that man, was Pablo Escobar. The man saw her and smiled. "Good morning, Rosa." She looked down. "Good morning, sir." "What is your name?" "Rosa, sir." "Welcome, Rosa. Thank you for your work." Rosa nodded, surprised. Rich men usually did not speak to her or thank her. This man seemed polite and kind. Rosa continued cleaning. The men kept talking but lowered their voices. Rosa did not try to listen. She simply focused on her work. After 6 hours, Rosa finished. The house was spotless. Marta inspected it. "Excellent work. The master will be pleased." She gave Rosa an envelope. "Your payment for today." Rosa opened it and found more money than expected. "There is extra, music. A tip from the master. If you work well, there is always a tip." Rosa could not believe her luck. Double pay plus tip. Thank you very much. See you Wednesday." Rosa left the house and walked to the bus stop with a smile, music on her face. This job was perfect. It paid very well. The master music was polite. The house was nice. She did not understand why they paid so much, but she was not going to ask. She would just work hard and treat this job like gold, because with that money she could give her children a better life, pay better rent, better food, music, maybe even save something. Rosa did not know she had just entered the house of the most dangerous man in music Colombia. She did not know that over the next months she would see music things that would destroy a drug empire. She did not know she would become the most effective spy against Pablo Escobar without even music realizing she was a spy. For now, Rosa was just a domestic worker, music grateful for a well-paid job. And that innocence was precisely what made her perfect for what would come next. During the following weeks, Rosa established music a routine. Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. She cleaned the same house, the same rooms, the same music furniture, and each time she saw things, heard things, and memorized things without intention, without purpose. Music simply because that was how her brain worked. She noticed there were many phones in the house, 7 in total, 3 in the living room, 2 in the kitchen, 2 in the dining room, an unusual number. Music. But Rosa thought, maybe the master has important business. Music, he needs many lines. The phones rang constantly, all day, with different tones for different phones. Rosa began associating sounds with times. The right living room phone rang at 10 a.m., the kitchen phone rang at 11:30. It became her way of measuring time while working. She also noticed that the man Pablo, although Rosa did not yet know his name, spoke strangely on the phone, using numbers and codes. Music. The package arrives Tuesday. I need 5 units for Thursday. Music. The truck leaves at 3. To Rosa, it sounded like normal business. Maybe he sold products. Maybe he had a transport company. She did not question it. She just cleaned. She noticed many men visited the house. Music, different men at different times. Some came alone, others in groups. All were respectful to her. Some said good morning, music, others ignored her completely. Rosa preferred being ignored. It meant she could work in peace. She noticed the men, music, had strange nicknames. She heard the master calling them, "Popel, music, bring those papers. Otto, I need you to do something. Mugre, music, call the contact." Rosa thought they were funny nicknames, childhood-style names. She did not know those nicknames were music names of the most dangerous hitmen in Colombia. Popela was Juan Jairo Velázquez, Pablo's main hitman responsible for hundreds of deaths. Otto was Otoniel Herrera, Pablo's lieutenant. Mugre was another known hitman, but to Rosa they were just funny names, music she heard while cleaning. Once, while cleaning the living room, she saw an open suitcase on the sofa. It was full of money, stacks and stacks of bills. Music. Rosa was shocked. She had never seen so much money together, but she thought, of course the master is rich. Rich people have a lot of cash. It did not seem suspicious, just impressive. She kept cleaning. Another time she saw weapons on the dining table, pistols, several being cleaned by one of the men. Rosa felt a moment of nervousness but told herself, they must be afraid of theft. Rich people need protection. It was music a logical explanation, at least for Rosa. She continued cleaning, did not ask, did not comment, and the master of the house remained, music, polite to her. Good work, Rosa. Thank you for keeping the house so clean. Take an extra tip this week. Music. Pablo treated Rosa well, as he treated many working people well. Rosa appreciated it. She had worked for families who treated her like garbage. This man treated her with respect, like a human being. That made Rosa appreciate him, want to do a good job for him. Music, ironically, considering what would come later. In her second month of work, music, Rosa already knew the house perfectly. Every corner, every surface, music, every object. She knew exactly how long it took her to clean each room. She optimized her routine. Living room 45 minutes, kitchen 30 minutes, bathrooms 20 minutes each. She was efficient, professional, and continued observing, memorizing, without music intention. She noticed patterns in visits. On Mondays, 3 men always came, music, at 10 a.m. On Wednesdays, there was a large meeting at 11. On Fridays, the master received fewer visits. Music seemed more relaxed. Rosa did not know she was memorizing the operational routines of the largest criminal organization in Colombia. To her, they were just music patterns, like noticing a family always ate at the same time or a client always wanted clean windows. In a way, it was passive, natural observation. One Wednesday, Rosa was cleaning near the dining room when she heard a conversation. The master music was speaking with 2 men, voices low, but Rosa had excellent hearing. The shipment leaves from the port on Tuesday, arrives Thursday. How much? 500 units, music, and the contact in the north is ready. Confirmed, everything is arranged. To Rosa, it sounded like an import business. Maybe he imported products, 500 units of something. When Thursday arrived, she did not think more about it. She continued cleaning, but her brain had recorded the conversation word for word, with voices, tone, stored in her perfect memory. Another day, Rosa saw a large map spread out on music, the table. It was a map of Colombia with marks, red circles in various cities. Rosa looked briefly music while cleaning around it. Medellin, Bogota, Cali, Cartagena, Barranquilla, all marked. Rosa thought, maybe he has businesses in all those cities. What a successful man. She did not know she was music looking at a map of drug trafficking routes, key cities for cocaine distribution. She continued cleaning, and Pablo, music, sitting in the office, did not even notice Rosa had seen the map. Music because Rosa was invisible, like all domestic workers. Powerful people do not pay attention to housekeepers. They do not see them as a threat or witnesses. They are part of the background, like furniture, music, like walls. And that invisibility was power, although Rosa did not know it yet. In the 3rd music month, Rosa had developed a relationship of mutual respect with the master of the house. Not a personal relationship, they did not talk, they were not friends, but there was mutual recognition. Music Pablo appreciated that Rosa was reliable, silent, efficient. Rosa appreciated that Pablo treated her with dignity, paid well, gave music generous tips. One day, Pablo was in a bad mood. Rosa noticed immediately. He was shouting on the phone. Something had gone wrong. Music. How did that happen? Who is responsible? Rosa was cleaning in an adjacent room. She could hear everything. I need music to know who talked. Someone leaked information. Pablo was furious, walking, gesturing. Music. Then he hung up violently and sat down, breathing heavily. Rosa entered the room where Pablo was. Music. She carried a glass of water. "Sir, I thought maybe you wanted water." Music. Pablo looked at her surprised, then smiled slightly. "Thank you, Rosa. You are considerate." Rosa nodded, left the water, and exited. It was a simple gesture, but Pablo noticed it. This housekeeper was different. Not only music efficient, but attentive, human. After that music day, Pablo became even kinder to Rosa. "How are your children, Rosa?" "Fine, sir. Thank you for asking." "How many do you have?" "3, 2 boys and a girl, ages 14, music 12 and 9. Pablo nodded. "Important. Family is the most important thing. Always music take care of your family, Rosa." "Yes, sir. That's why I work." Pablo smiled. "That's why I pay you well. Music, because I value hard work and loyalty." Rosa did not fully understand what loyalty meant in this context, but she valued the sentiment. This man understood she worked for her family and respected her. However, what Rosa did not know was that Pablo valued loyalty above all, and eventually Rosa's loyalty would be tested in a way neither of them expected, but that would come later. For now, Rosa continued being a domestic worker, music invisible and reliable, observing everything, memorizing every detail, without knowing that every observation was a piece of the puzzle that would eventually destroy Pablo Escobar. March 1992. Rosa Martinez had been working in the house for 2 months. 2 months cleaning, 2 months observing, 2 months memorizing, without knowing what she was memorizing, without understanding the meaning of what she saw. For Rosa, it was just work, routine, cleaning. But her mind stored everything, every detail, every conversation, every pattern like an invisible surveillance camera that never stopped recording. Every Sunday, Rosa visited her sister Patricia. They drank coffee, ate together, and talked about their week. Rosa told stories from her work, stories she considered funny, curious, and interesting. She did not know each story was evidence. She did not know she was about to trigger something unstoppable. For now, Rosa was just a sister sharing anecdotes with her younger sister, anecdotes that would change everything. To understand this part of the story, it is necessary to know Patricia. Patricia Martinez was Rosa's younger sister, 32 years old, 6 years younger. Unlike Rosa, Patricia had gone to school. She had completed secondary education and moved to Medellin with Rosa when they were young, but Patricia had been luckier. She worked as a receptionist at the Central Police Station of Medellin. It was not a glamorous job. She answered phones, filed documents, and managed appointments, but it was stable, with a decent salary and benefits. Patricia was married, had 2 children, and lived a relatively comfortable life. But she always worried about Rosa, her older sister who worked so hard, earned so little, and struggled so much. The sisters met every Sunday without fail. It was a sacred tradition. Sundays were for family. They gathered at Patricia's apartment. Patricia cooked, Rosa brought dessert. They ate together. Their children played together. The sisters talked about life, work, worries, and joys. Rosa always told stories about her jobs. Patricia had heard for years about rich families, beautiful houses, difficult employers, and kind employers. They were mundane stories, sometimes funny, sometimes sad. Patricia listened, sometimes gave advice, but mostly just listened. It was a normal routine, nothing special. Until March 1992, when Rosa's stories stopped being mundane and became deadly. The first Sunday of March, Rosa arrived at Patricia's house with good news. "I got a new job. It pays much better." Patricia was happy. "That's wonderful. Where?" "In a house in El Poblado, a large house. The master is very polite. He treats me with respect." "What does he do?" Rosa shrugged. "Business, I think. There are always meetings, many phones, many visitors." "Sounds important." "Yes. And the pay is incredible. Double normal, plus tips. Patricia hugged her sister. You deserve it. You work so hard. And you know what's best? The master asks about my children. He is kind. Not like other employers who don't even look at me. Patricia smiled. That's good. Everyone deserves respect. They ate and talked about other things. It was a normal Sunday. Rosa did not mention anything strange because, to her, nothing was strange yet. It was just a large house with a rich, kind man. The second Sunday of March, Rosa arrived with more stories. This week was interesting. What happened? I saw a suitcase full of money. So much money, Patricia. I had never seen so much together. Patricia raised an eyebrow. How much money? I don't know, but it was a large suitcase completely full of 50,000 bills. Patricia thought. A suitcase full of cash. Unusual. But very rich people sometimes had cash. Maybe he doesn't trust banks. Rosa nodded. That's what I thought too. Something else interesting. Oh yes. There are so many phones in that house. I counted 7. 7 phones in one house? Why would someone need 7 phones? Patricia laughed. Maybe he has big business, many clients. That must be it. And they ring all the time. Different phones at different hours. It's like a clock. I can tell time by which phone rings. You have good memory for those things. Rosa smiled. I've always had good memory. It's a natural gift. They continued talking. Patricia did not think much of the stories. Rich, eccentric people had strange habits. It was not unusual. The third Sunday of March, Rosa arrived with a different story. This week I heard something funny. What? The men who visit the master have strange nicknames like children's names. What kind of nicknames? There is one called Popel, like the cartoon sailor. It's a funny name for an adult, right? Patricia, who was drinking coffee, froze. What did you say, Popel? The master calls him that. Popel, bring this. Popel, do that. Patricia slowly placed her coffee on the table. Her heart was beating fast. Popel. In Medellin in 1992, there was only one Popel that mattered, Juan Jairo Velázquez. Popele, Pablo Escobar's main hitman. Patricia, who worked at the police station, had seen photos, read reports, and filed documents about him. Popele was one of the most wanted men in Colombia. Rosa Mugre. What other names have you heard? Rosa thought. There is one called Otto and another called Mugre. Strange names, right? Patricia felt a chill run through her body. Otto Roberto Herrera, a known cartel lieutenant. Mugre, another hitman. These were not casual names. They were names of a criminal organization. Rosa, the master you work for, what is his name? Rosa paused. You know, I was never told his name. Everyone just calls him the master or Don Pablo. Patricia stopped breathing. Don Pablo, Pablo Escobar. Her sister was working for Pablo Escobar. Patricia tried to stay calm. She did not want to scare Rosa yet. Rosa, describe the master physically. He is a middle-aged man, maybe in his 40s, thick mustache, round face, curly black hair, kind smile. Patricia knew that description. She had seen it in photos hundreds of times. It was Pablo Escobar, without a doubt. Rosa, I need you to tell me the exact address of that house. Why? What's wrong? Just tell me the address. Rosa did. Patricia memorized it. Rosa, I need to ask you something very important, and I need you to think carefully before answering. Are you scaring me? Have you seen anything else in that house? Anything unusual? Rosa thought. Well, I saw weapons once, several pistols being cleaned, and there are many security men and strange conversations. They speak in codes, numbers, shipments. Patricia closed her eyes. Rosa, I think the man you work for is dangerous. Dangerous? Patricia hesitated. How do you tell your sister she is cleaning the house of the most dangerous drug lord in the world? I think he is involved in illegal activities. Rosa looked confused. But he is so kind. He treats me well, asks about my children, gives me tips. He can be kind and dangerous at the same time. Rosa shook her head. No, he can't. You know bad people when you see them. This man is good. Patricia knew Rosa was innocent, that she saw good in everyone and did not understand the complexities of the world. Rosa, trust me. I need you to be careful. Very careful. Patricia, you are scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Just don't change anything. Keep working normally, but don't talk about this job to anyone, not even me. Rosa was confused and afraid. What are you going to do? Nothing yet. I just need to verify something. But Patricia knew exactly what she was going to do. She was going to report this. She had to. Her sister was in Pablo Escobar's house without knowing it, without protection, and Patricia had to act before it was too late. Monday morning. Patricia arrived early at the police station. She had not slept well all night thinking about Rosa, Pablo Escobar, and what to do. She knew reporting this could put Rosa in danger, but not reporting it was also risky. If something happened to Rosa, Patricia would never forgive herself. At 8 a.m., Patricia spoke to her boss, Captain Morales, a serious and reliable man. Captain, I need to speak with you. It's urgent. What is it, Patricia? It's about my sister. I think she is working for Pablo Escobar without knowing it. Morales straightened. Explain. Patricia told him everything. The new job, the house in El Poblado, the names Rosa had mentioned, Popel, Otto, Mugre, and the physical description. Don Pablo listened carefully while taking notes. Is your sister sure about these names? Completely. My sister has a photographic memory. If she heard it, it's real, and she doesn't know who Pablo Escobar is. No. She is illiterate. She doesn't watch the news. She lives in her own small world. She only works and takes care of her children. Morales nodded. This is serious, very serious. I need to contact my superiors and probably the DEA. Patricia felt panic. Is my sister going to be safe? I will do everything possible, but you must understand something. Your sister is in a unique position. She has access to Escobar's house. She sees and hears things. That is invaluable. No, they are not going to use her as a spy. She is my sister. She is innocent. I am not the one who decides that, but authorities will want to speak with her. They will want her to keep working there, observing and reporting. That will get her killed. If Escobar finds out, that's why we must be extremely careful. Your sister is invisible to them. That is her advantage. Patricia wanted to cry. She had reported this to protect Rosa, but now she felt she had put her in greater danger. I need guarantees. I need you to promise you will protect her. I will do everything I can, but first I need to make calls. That afternoon, Captain Morales contacted his superiors, and they contacted the DEA agents. Morrison and Ramirez were assigned to the case. They arrived the next day. They wanted to speak with Patricia first, then Rosa. Patricia told them everything again, every detail Rosa had mentioned. Morrison took extensive notes. Your sister has photographic memory. Yes. If she sees or hears something, she remembers it word for word. And she has been in that house for how long? 2 months, 3 times a week, 6 hours each time. Morrison and Ramirez looked at each other. This was gold. They needed to speak to her directly. On Wednesday morning, Rosa finished work as usual, cleaning, observing, being invisible. She did not know her life was about to change completely. Patricia was waiting for her on the corner. Patricia, what are you doing here? Rosa, you need to come with me. People want to speak with you. What people? About what? About your job. It's important. Rosa felt fear. Did I do something wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong, but they need your help. Patricia took Rosa to a discreet office. Morrison and Ramirez were waiting. Rosa entered nervously. Who are these men? Rosa, they work with the government. They need to ask you questions about your job. Rosa sat down, hands shaking. I don't understand why. Morrison spoke softly and calmly. Rosa, thank you for coming. I know this is confusing, but I need you to answer some questions and be completely honest. Is that okay? Yes, sir. The master you work for in the house in El Poblado, do you know him? I know his face. He is kind, a good employer. Morrison showed a photograph. Is this the man? Rosa looked at it. Yes, that is the master. Why do you have his photo? Morrison and Ramirez looked at each other. Rosa, that man is called Pablo Escobar. Have you heard that name? Rosa thought. No, I don't think so. Morrison continued. Pablo Escobar is a very dangerous man. He is involved in drug trafficking, violence. He is one of the most wanted criminals in the world. Rosa looked at him without understanding. But he is so kind to me. He can be kind and be a criminal at the same time. Rosa shook her head. There must be a mistake. My master cannot be a criminal. Ramirez spoke. Rosa, the men you have seen in that house, the names you heard, Popel, Otto, Mugre, those are known criminals, assassins. Rosa felt nauseous. No, it's not possible. It is possible. And it is true. Rosa began crying. I only wanted to work, feed my children. I didn't know anything. Patricia hugged her sister. I know, it's not your fault. Morrison waited and continued. Rosa, I need to propose something. Think carefully before answering. What proposal? We want you to keep working there, but report to us what you see and hear. Help us build a case against Pablo Escobar. Rosa stood up immediately. No, I can't. He will kill me if he finds out. He won't find out because you won't change anything. You will stay Rosa, the invisible housekeeper. You will just tell us what you see. No, I can't. It's too dangerous. Morrison made his final argument. Rosa, if you don't help us, Pablo Escobar will continue free. He will keep killing people, destroying families. Your children will grow up in a city controlled by criminals. He paused. But if you help us, we can capture him. We can make Medellin safer for you, your children, and everyone. Rosa was crying. I am not brave. I am just a housekeeper. That is exactly what makes you perfect. No one suspects a housekeeper. No one pays attention. Rosa looked at Patricia. What should I do? Patricia took her hands. I can't decide for you, but if you do this, I will be with you always. Rosa closed her eyes, thinking of her children, her city, her life, and made the decision that would change everything. All right, I will do it. But I need you to promise something. What? If something happens to me, take care of my children. Promise me. I promise, Rosa breathed deeply. Then what do you need me to do? At that moment, Rosa Martinez stopped being just a domestic worker. She became a spy, an informant, a secret weapon against Pablo Escobar, without training, without preparation, only with her photographic memory and innocence. She was the most unlikely spy in history, and also the most effective. In March 1992, Rosa Martinez knew the truth. She now knew the kind man was Pablo Escobar, Colombia's most wanted criminal. She knew the men with funny nicknames were hitmen, assassins. She knew the suitcases of money were drug money, narco-trafficking, and she knew she had to return to that house, act normal, keep cleaning. While spying, Rosa had not slept in 2 days since the DEA asked her to become an informant. She was afraid, terrified, but she had accepted, not because she was brave, but because she had no other option. If she left abruptly, Pablo would suspect, investigate, and discover she had spoken to authorities. The only way to be safe was to continue. Act as if nothing had changed. But everything had changed, because now Rosa knew what she was seeing, what the conversations meant, what the numbers represented. And she had to report everything to the DEA without Pablo suspecting anything. It was the most dangerous job in the world for the least prepared woman in the world. Music. Over the next 3 months, Rosa would perform her job perfectly until one mistake changed everything. The first day back was the hardest. Music Rosa arrived at the house Monday morning as always. At 8 o'clock, she rang the bell. The guard opened the gate. "Good morning, Rosa." "Good morning." Rosa walked toward the house, her legs Music shaking and her heart beating fast. Marta greeted her at the door. "Hello, Rosa. Ready to work?" Rosa forced a smile. Everything looked the same, but she felt completely Music different. Every object had a new meaning, every conversation carried a different weight. It was no longer just a house, it was a crime scene. Rosa began cleaning, her hands slightly trembling. "Calm down," she told herself. "Act normal as always." Pablo arrived at 9, as usual. He smiled when he saw Rosa. "Good morning, Rosa." She felt panic Music, but responded automatically. "Good morning, sir." Pablo went to the kitchen. Rosa continued cleaning the living room, but now everything was different. Now she knew who this man was. Responsible for thousands of deaths, a man who had destroyed countless families and was being kind to her. Rosa felt confusion. How could someone be both kind and monstrous? But she had no time for philosophy. She had work to do. Morrison had given her clear instructions. Observe everything, memorize everything, but do not do anything differently. Do not take photos, do not write notes, just observe and remember. We will meet every week for debriefing. Rosa spent the day cleaning as always, but now she paid attention differently. She listened Music with new understanding, observed movements with new purpose. At 10 a.m., 3 men arrived. Rosa recognized them. They came every Monday, sat in the dining room and spoke with Pablo. Music. Rosa cleaned nearby, not too close, but enough to hear. Last week's shipment arrived fine, no problems. Good. How much did it generate? 3 million after expenses. Excellent. Music. And the next one leaves Wednesday. The destination is the same, but double the quantity. Rosa memorized every word, every number, every detail. Wednesday, Music double quantity, 3 million. She did not fully understand what it meant, but she would report it to Morrison. The 6 Music hours passed slowly. Rosa was exhausted, not physically, but mentally. It was draining to act normal, while every nerve in her body screamed danger. When she finished, Marta Music paid her as always. "Good work, Rosa." "Thank you." Rosa left the house, walked 2 blocks, then stopped at the corner, leaned against the wall, and breathed deeply. She had made it. First day, Music as a spy completed, but she would have to do it again. Wednesday Music and Friday, and the following week and the week after that. Rosa did not know how long she could keep this up. That night, Rosa met Morrison Music in a discreet cafe. "How did it go?" "Terrifying, but I did it well." "What did you observe?" Rosa closed her eyes and recited everything word for word. Conversations, numbers, schedules, names. Morrison was writing Music furiously. "Rosa, this is incredible. Your memory is extraordinary. I've always remembered things, but now it's different. Now I know Music. It matters. It definitely matters. This information about Wednesday's shipment, Music, is valuable. We can intercept." Rosa felt something strange. Pride mixed Music with guilt. Pride because she was helping. Guilt because she was betraying the man who treated her well. "Mr. Morrison, Music, can I ask something?" "Of course." "Is Pablo Escobar really as bad as they say?" Morrison Music looked at her seriously. "Rosa, Pablo Escobar is responsible for more than 4,000 deaths. He has killed police officers, judges, politicians, innocent civilians. He has bombed airplanes. He has destroyed entire buildings. He paused. He may be kind to you. He may treat you with respect, but that does not change what he is. He is one of the most dangerous men who has ever existed. Rosa nodded slowly. Music. It is just hard to understand how someone can be two people at the same time. That is what makes criminals like him so dangerous. They can show humanity when it suits them, but do not doubt for a second. Music. If he discovers you are spying, he will kill you without hesitation. Rosa felt cold. I know. That's why you need to be perfect. Not a single mistake, not a single suspicion. I will try. No, don't try. Do it. Your life depends on it. Rosa went home that night with a huge weight on her shoulders, but she was committed. There was no turning back. Over the next 8 weeks, Rosa lived a double life. 3 times a week she was Rosa the housekeeper, invisible, silent, efficient. She cleaned, observed, memorized, and every week met with Morrison. She reported everything. The information Rosa provided was invaluable. Shipment schedules, contact names, phone numbers, meeting locations. The DEA used it for operations, intercepting shipments, arresting contacts. They did not directly attack Pablo yet. That would be too obvious. But they were dismantling his operation piece by piece, and Pablo began to notice. Someone is leaking information, he said in meetings Rosa heard. Someone in our circle is talking. Rosa felt panic every time she heard this. But Pablo never looked at her when he said it. He never suspected her because she was invisible, just a housekeeper. However, Rosa noticed Pablo becoming more paranoid, more tense, more distrustful. He questioned his men, changed routines, moved locations. But Rosa continued observing, memorizing, reporting. One Wednesday in May, Rosa heard a crucial conversation, Pablo was on the phone. Rosa was cleaning nearby. No, that house is no longer safe. I need to move. Find a new location, discreet, in a different area. Pablo gave specific instructions, characteristics of the house he needed. No one knows the address. Only you and me, no one else. Understood? Rosa memorized every detail. That night she reported to Morrison. Pablo is planning to move. He is looking for a new house. Where? Not specifically, but he gave characteristics. A house with 2 exits in a residential area, facing the main street, 2 floors. Morrison wrote furiously. This is excellent. We can monitor the property market, see which houses, match this description. But Pablo said no one else would know the address. Eventually someone would know, and when that happened, they needed to be told. Rosa agreed, but she felt the pressure increasing. Pablo was more careful, more suspicious. It was only a matter of time before he began suspecting everyone, including invisible domestic workers. Week 10. Rosa arrived Monday as usual, but something was different. There were more guards, more surveillance, and Pablo looked tense, very tense. Rosa began cleaning the living room. Pablo entered and looked at her longer than usual. Rosa felt panic, but kept a neutral expression. Good morning, sir. Pablo did not respond immediately. Just studied her. Rosa, how long have you worked here? 4 months, sir, almost 5. Do you like the job? Yes, sir, very much. You are a good employer. Pablo nodded slowly. You are a good worker, Rosa. Reliable, silent. Thank you, sir. You never talk about what you see here, right? Rosa felt her heart stop. Never, sir. I know my job is to clean, not talk. Good, because lately I've had problems. Someone is leaking information. Someone is talking to authorities. That's terrible, sir. Pablo looked at her intensely. Do you know what happens to people who betray me? Rosa swallowed. No, sir. They die without exception, no matter who they are, no matter why they did it. If they betray me, they pay the price. I understand, sir. Pablo stepped closer. Rosa froze. Music. I don't think it's you. You're just a housekeeper. What could you possibly know? Rosa forced a nervous laugh. I only know how to clean, sir. Pablo smiled slightly. Exactly. That's why I trust Music you. He turned and left. Rosa stood there trembling. She almost collapsed. Pablo had tested her. Music evaluated her, and she had apparently passed. But it was too close, too terrifying. That night, Rosa told Morrison, I can't continue. It's too dangerous. Pablo is suspicious of everyone. Rosa, that's exactly why we need Music you to continue. He is paranoid because we are succeeding. Your information is working. But they almost caught me today. They asked me questions, indirectly threatened me. But they do not suspect you. He said he trusts you for now. Morrison took Rosa's hands. Rosa, I need you to hold on 2 more weeks. Just 2 weeks. We are close to something big. The information you've provided has helped us locate several of his safe houses. If we get the location of his new house, we can capture him. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I promise. After that, we will give you a new identity, a new city, you and your family. Rosa closed her eyes. She could endure 2 weeks. All right, 2 weeks, but not a day more. Deal. Rosa did not know that in those 2 weeks she would make a small mistake, a mistake that would eventually reveal everything, a mistake that would put her life in extreme danger, but also a mistake that would lead to one of the most successful operations against Pablo Escobar. Week 11. Rosa was in the house on a Friday, finishing the week. Pablo was in a meeting in the dining room with 2 men Rosa did not recognize. She cleaned the adjacent living room and could hear clearly. The new house is ready, one man said. North Zone, Boston neighborhood. No one knows about it except us. Rosa froze. Boston neighborhood, North Zone. Address? Pablo asked. The man gave the address, street, number, specific details. Rosa memorized everything instantly. This was the information Morrison needed. Pablo's new house, exact location. Rosa finished cleaning quickly and left. That afternoon she met Morrison. I have something important. Pablo has a new house, Boston neighborhood, North Zone. Morrison straightened. Rosa recited the address perfectly. Morrison smiled. Rosa, this is exactly what we needed. This is critical information. What will you do? We will monitor that house. Wait until Pablo moves there, and when he does, we will carry out the operation. And me? This is your last week. Monday and Wednesday you work normally. Friday we extract you so that when we carry out the operation next week, you and your family will already be away. Rosa felt massive relief. Finally, it was ending. You did an incredible job, Rosa. You saved lives. You helped capture one of the most dangerous criminals in the world. Rosa did not feel like a hero. She just felt tired. I just want this to end. I want my normal life back. And you will have it, I promise. But Morrison did not know something. In the house, while Rosa heard the conversation about Boston neighborhood, one of Pablo's guards had noticed something. He had noticed Rosa cleaning closer than usual to the dining room. He had noticed she finished earlier than normal that day and mentioned it to Pablo. Don Pablo, the housekeeper. Rosa acted strange today. Pablo looked up. Strange how? She was cleaning very close while you were talking about the new house and she left quickly afterward. Pablo processed this. Rosa had worked there 5 months without problems. Investigate her discreetly. I want to know everything about Rosa Martinez. And so, without Rosa knowing, her cover began to collapse. Pablo Escobar had finally turned his attention to the invisible housekeeper, and when Pablo Escobar investigated, he eventually discovered the truth. It was only a matter of time. Monday of the final week. Rosa arrived at work without knowing she was being followed. One of Pablo's men had followed her from her home. He noted where she lived, who she lived with, her route. Rosa worked normally that day, but Pablo watched her differently now, with suspicion, doubt. "Rosa, do you live alone?" "No, sir. I live with my 3 children. Their father left years ago. I am a single mother." Pablo nodded. "It must be hard. That's why you work so much." "Yes, sir. I do everything for them." "Do you have family besides your children? Siblings?" Rosa hesitated. "I have a sister, Patricia. I see her on Sundays." "What does your sister do?" "She works in an office. Administrative work." Pablo smiled. "Family is important. Always take care of your family, Rosa." "Always, sir." But Pablo was taking mental notes. Sister named Patricia, administrative job, weekly meetings on Sundays, information to investigate. After Rosa left, Pablo called his investigator. "Find everything about Rosa's sister, Patricia Martinez." 2 days later, the investigator returned. "Don Pablo, interesting finding. Rosa's sister works at the Central Police Station. She is a receptionist." Pablo froze. Rosa's sister worked in the police, and Rosa had been in his house for 5 months, seeing everything, hearing everything. The pieces aligned, leaks, successful DEA operations, precise intelligence. It was not someone inside his circle. It was the invisible housekeeper no one suspected. Rosa. Pablo felt cold rage. "Are you sure?" "Completely. Patricia Martinez, receptionist at the Central Station, sister of Rosa Martinez." Pablo closed his eyes. He had been betrayed by a domestic worker, by a woman he treated with respect, by someone he trusted. "Find Rosa now and bring her here." But there was a problem. Rosa was not home. She was meeting Morrison, and Morrison had just given her news. "Rosa, we are extracting you today now. There are signs Pablo may be suspicious." "I need to pick up things from my house." "No time. We are sending people for your children. They will meet us at the extraction point. You come with us now." Rosa felt panic and relief at the same time. "All right, let's do it." It was a race against time. Pablo's men searching for Rosa, the DEA extracting her. Whoever arrived first would determine whether Rosa lived or died. May 1992. 2 groups searched for Rosa Martinez simultaneously. Pablo Escobar's hitmen wanted to capture, interrogate, and kill her. DEA agents wanted to protect, extract, and save her. Rosa was in the middle, not knowing her life depended on minutes, seconds, who reached her family first. Morrison drove fast toward the extraction point. Rosa in the back seat, nervous, confused. "Why so sudden? What happened?" "There are signs Pablo may be suspicious. We can't risk it. We need to move now." "My children, where are they?" "The team is already on their way. They will pick them up and meet us." Morrison did not mention reports of unknown men asking about Rosa in her neighborhood. He did not want to scare her further, but he knew this was a race against time. Elsewhere, a Pablo hitman named Rodrigo drove toward Rosa's neighborhood. He had the address, description of her children, clear orders. Bring Rosa alive. Pablo wanted to interrogate her before killing her. Rodrigo arrived at the apartment building, asked for Rosa Martinez. Eventually, he reached apartment C, 3rd floor. He knocked. No answer. He knocked harder. Nothing. "Break it down." The door was forced open. The apartment was empty. "We're too late." They searched everything. No one was there. Inside, they found a handwritten list of schools attended by Rosa's children. Rodrigo smiled. "We go to the schools." At the same time, DEA agents arrived at those same schools, claiming an emergency. Rosa's children were picked up and placed in a DEA vehicle heading to the extraction point. 15 minutes later, Rodrigo arrived at the first school. "We are looking for Rosa Martinez's daughter," the director said. "She was already picked up 20 minutes ago by government agents." Rodrigo felt fury. Too late. He called Pablo. "We are too late. The DEA took Rosa and her children." Pablo tightened his grip on the phone. So she was the informant, domestic worker, illiterate woman. She fooled us all. What should we do? Pablo thought. Rosa was now under protection. He could not reach her directly. "Burn her apartment. I want her to know we reached her. I want her to know she would be dead if she hadn't escaped." 1 hour later, Rosa's apartment was in flames. Everything she had left behind, photos, memories, previous life, destroyed. Message sent, message received. Rosa and her children were reunited in a safe house outside Medellin. When she saw them, she cried and held them tightly. "Mom, what is happening?" her oldest son asked. "Why are we here?" Rosa did not know how to explain. "I did something to protect us, to protect our city. But now we have to leave. We have to start over." "Will we go home?" her daughter asked. Rosa looked at Morrison. He shook his head. "No, my love, we can't go back. But we will be together and we will be safe." Morrison gave them news Rosa feared. "Your apartment was destroyed. Pablo ordered it burned after you escaped." Rosa closed her eyes. Everything they had built was gone. "But you are alive," Morrison continued. "And that is what matters. 10 more minutes and—" He did not finish. Everyone understood. 10 minutes was the difference between life and death. Over the next 3 days, Rosa and her family stayed in the safe house. Morrison visited regularly. "You will be relocated with new identities, new city, likely outside Colombia." "Where?" Rosa asked. "Still deciding, but somewhere Pablo cannot find you." 2 weeks later, Rosa and her family were moved to Ecuador to a small city called Cuenca. New names, new documents, new life. Rosa Martinez no longer officially existed. She was now Elena Vargas. Her children also had new identities. It was strange, unsettling, but necessary. They were given a small apartment, 6 months of financial support, and help finding work. Rosa became a domestic worker again. It was all she knew how to do. Her children slowly adapted. New school, new friends, new language variation. It was difficult, especially for the eldest son, who understood more. "Mom, why did we have to leave?" Rosa considered lying, but he deserved the truth. "I worked for a dangerous man without knowing who he was. When I found out, I helped the authorities, and he got angry, so we had to escape." "That man was Pablo Escobar, right?" Rosa was surprised. "How do you know that name?" "Everyone knows that name, Mom. He is the most famous criminal in Colombia." Rosa nodded. Yes, it was him. Her son looked at her with complex emotions: fear, pride, confusion. "Were you brave?" "No, I was afraid every second. I did what I had to do." "That's what bravery is, Mom. Doing the right thing even when you're afraid." Rosa hugged him, crying. Maybe he was right. 6 months later, in December 1992, Rosa, now Elena, was in her apartment in Cuenca preparing dinner with her children. A normal, quiet life. Someone knocked on the door. Rosa felt instant panic. She always feared unexpected knocks. She always thought, "It's Pablo. He found me." But when she opened the door, it was Morrison. "Mr. Morrison, what are you doing here?" "May I come in?" Rosa let him in nervously. "Did something happen?" "Pablo found us?" "No. I came with news." "What news?" Morrison smiled. "The operation we conducted based on your information about the Boston neighborhood house." "Yes?" "We did not capture Pablo. He escaped as always, but we arrested 6 of his main associates. We confiscated $3 million in cash and 2 tons of cocaine. Rosa processed it. That's good. It's excellent. It's one of the biggest blows we've ever dealt to the cartel. And all thanks to you.